Living a healthy, balanced life is no small feat, especially when you're a mom. With meals to cook, laundry to load, work to do, and humans to raise, it can be easy to feel like we're in an on-again, off-again relationship with healthy living. But it doesn't have to feel this way. I believe living a healthy life has become way too complicated. What we need isn't a new plan or program telling us what to eat or how to live. We need simple, uncomplicated routines and information that's going to help us live our best, most beautiful life without rules and restrictions. Join me, Kristin Dovbniak, holistic health coach, certified intuitive eating counselor, and mama of two, for weekly conversations on what it means to live a healthy, balanced life, uncomplicate eating, and simplify in every area of mom life. It is the start of a new year, and there is a really good chance that you've set some goals for yourself this year, maybe even health and wellness goals. And the most common way to work towards health goals is to go on some sort of diet or plan to get on track. If you've been around here at all, you know I'm not a fan of extremes, and I will preach balance from the hilltops all the livelong day because of my own past history with extreme dieting and how it impacted my life, my health, and my relationships, as well as the similar patterns I've seen with past clients and with women in the Supermama Society. We know from research and anecdotal evidence that diets don't last, at least not for long. Actually, statistically, you are likely to fall off of the plan you're on by January 17th. And if your goal is weight loss, even if you achieve it, there's a 95% chance you'll gain it back. Not very encouraging, right? You can listen to episode 131 about more reasons why diets simply don't work, but today I want to talk about why. Why do we stay trapped in this on-again, off-again cycle of dieting and not dieting? I know this was my pattern for many years, this all-or-nothing mentality. I was either all in or all out. Well, the reason we stay in it is because of our mindset. It has nothing to do with finding the right plan or even reaching our goals. Oftentimes we reach our goals and immediately self-sabotage. I made it, now I can reward myself, and then we're back at square one. Have you ever experienced this? I know I have. The irony is that we hope that most of these plans will help us to find a healthy balance, and then we end up anything but. Our mindset around food is what is holding us back from truly embracing balance. Balance that includes honoring our bodies with nourishing food, movement, water, and also enjoying foods we love with complete and total freedom. So how do we begin to shift our mindset from one of all in or all out to one of balance? I want to dig into 3 new ways that you can look at food in 2021 to shift your mindset to a mindset of balance. The number 1 new way to look at food in 2021 is to recognize food for what it is. Food is fuel, but it's not just fuel. Food is fuel, food is nourishment, and food is pleasure. So why does this matter? If we only ever eat food for fuel, like much of the diet industry tells us to, eat foods that are clean, food is fuel, count your macros, eat only a certain amount. If we are only focusing on eating food as fuel, we oftentimes miss out on the nourishment that food provides. If we're only focusing on the macronutrients, oftentimes we miss out on the micronutrients. We're just looking at those big numbers and we're forgetting about the things that actually help us to thrive. And if we're only focusing on food as fuel, we're also oftentimes not thinking about the fact that food needs to be satisfying in order for us to stick to whatever healthy habits we're trying to adopt. So only eating food for fuel backfires because we're not eating the foods that we love. We're oftentimes missing out on key nutrients, and we are not eating in a way that is well-rounded and serving all of the purposes, all of the roles that food plays in our life. But the same thing goes if we're only focusing on eating food for nourishment. If we are so hyper-focused on the vitamins and minerals in food and really focus on eating super, super healthy, super, super clean, we're nitpicking nutrients, then we can get into a place of almost orthorexia, which is an over-obsession with eating healthy. And we sometimes don't eat enough because we're focused so much on the nutrients. And the same thing happens where we are not actually enjoying our food, and this tends to backfire later on with overeating or binge eating or just a cycle of guilt and shame. And none of those are a place we want to be in to live a healthy, balanced life. And lastly, I think we know what happens if we only eat for pleasure. Then we are not paying attention to our bodies, we are not getting enough nutrients for nourishment, and oftentimes we are overfueling our bodies because we're just eating for pleasure. So it's a really delicate balance. But that delicate balance comes from recognizing, first and foremost, that food isn't just fuel. It's not just nutrients, and it's not just for pleasure. It's for all three. And we are allowed to take care of our bodies by fueling our bodies on a regular basis, by making sure we're eating balanced meals for balanced blood sugar so we have balanced energy and mood and focus. It's okay to make sure that we're eating lots of nutrient-dense foods, especially nutrient-dense foods that we love, so that we're getting that pleasure aspect and we're also getting the nutrients from the food. But we want to make sure we're not hyper-focusing on one area or the other, because that's where we get out of balance. And when we're out of balance, we oftentimes tend to swing in the other direction. Shift number 2 to look at food in a new way in 2021 is that what we do sometimes doesn't matter as much as what we do most of the time. I want you to get real with yourself. Are you actually eating cookies for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? If the answer is yes, then yeah, you could probably work on more balance in that area. Just like if you were only eating lettuce for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you would also be imbalanced. Yes, lettuce is healthy in the same way that cookies aren't exactly a health food, but neither of them helps us to get to our goal of living a healthy, balanced life in and of themselves. Eating cookies sometimes won't make or break your health, just like eating lettuce sometimes won't improve our health. What if we ate veggies at most meals and cookies at some? Doesn't that feel more balanced than I have to eat veggies at every meal, or I can only eat veggies and I can never eat cookies? Moving away from that extremist mindset and into one of sometimes and most of the time can help you to look at food with a more balanced mindset. And the third shift to look at food in a new way in 2021 is that balance, it doesn't have to be boring. We have a new motto around here and we are TMing that ish, so don't you try and steal it, but you can adopt it. Balance doesn't have to be boring. Balanced eating doesn't need to, nor should it feel rigid or restrictive, because that's not balance, y'all. Also, I feel like me trying to use y'all as a born and bred New Englander is kind of like Gretchen Wieners trying to make fetch work in Mean Girls, but I digress. Going back to what we do sometimes matters less than what we do most of the time. Most of the time, we want to be honoring our bodies with food that makes us feel good. I'm all about intuitive eating, and I truly believe intuitive eating is about honoring your body without restriction, though a lot of what the media has turned it into is something that feels like the other end of the extreme from dieting. But it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be the middle ground for you. And if that middle ground feels hard or so boring, it's not going to be sustainable. So how can you bring more enjoyment into eating? How can you bring more flavor into your meals? How can you make balance into something that you want to embrace every single day because it feels as good as it tastes? Okay, mama, that is what I have for you today. We're keeping this short and sweet. I just want you to focus on these 3 new ways to look at food in 2021. Recognize food for what it is. Food is fuel, but it's not just fuel. It's also nourishment and pleasure. What we do sometimes doesn't matter as much as what we do most of the time. So focus on sometimes and most of the time. And last but certainly not least, balance does not have to be boring. You should be eating food that feels as good as it tastes. My message going into 2021 is to ditch the all or nothing and embrace that balance doesn't have to be boring. Let's make 2021 our most healthy, balanced year yet. Mama, if this mindset around balance feels like something you can get behind, but you feel like you could use a little more support and the tools to get there, I've got you. The Supermama Society was designed for you. The Supermama Society, or SMS for short, is my unique group coaching membership designed for the mama who wants to own her balance with tools, trained coaches, and a community of like-minded women by your side to help you get there. Studies prove that accountability is key to our success, and the Supermama Society will give you the tools and the support you need to reach your goals of living a healthy, balanced mama life and feel like the supermama I know you are. With access to 2 complete self-paced courses to guide you through the exact steps you need to become an intuitive balanced eater, monthly live group coaching calls for support, accountability, advice, and encouragement, monthly Q&As to make sure you get all of your questions answered, access to discounted one-on-one coaching sessions, as well as an exclusive resource library with recipes, meal ideas, worksheets, and more, plus expert-led, member-only workshops held throughout the year, the Supermama Society has everything you need and more to live your healthiest, happiest, most balanced life. Even better, the Supermama Society is intentionally designed to be affordable. Choose from a one-time fee for lifetime access or monthly payments for more ease on your budget. To learn more and join us, head to supermamasociety.com. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Healthy Balanced Mama podcast. If you loved it, would you take a screenshot and share it with a friend over on Instagram and tag me in it? It helps me so much to know what you love and are taking away from each episode. If you really loved it, would you hop over to iTunes and give me a star rating and review? Every rating and review helps this podcast be seen and heard by more women who need to hear the message of balance and wellness without deprivation. It's the best free gift you could give me. And as a reminder, the information and opinions on this podcast are meant for education and inspiration only and are not to be taken as medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please consult with a trusted practitioner before making any changes. Have a beautiful day, friend, and I'll see you in the next episode.